strategically. I can get it right. I'm gonna go where the winners go. Sailing ain't an option, no, it ain't in my blood. All I do is try to.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Mondays Beyond the Mic. Yes, it is another Monday. It is the last Monday in February. It is the last Monday in Black History Month. But again, welcome to Mondays Beyond the Mic. This is the place where we go beyond surface level topics in relationship. This space provides us with an opportunity to delve into more personal or profound aspects of our lives. So thank you to our faithful followers. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. You see, I'm praying. Look, that's how you know I'm saved. I said, thank you, Lord. Hallelujah.
You
Thank
better
you
come on in
for
here.
being here. Listen, got to bring the spirit, got to bring them in on in here. Maybe he needs to be in here tonight. He said, let me make myself known. But if this is your first time here, thank you for being here. As you see, we like to have fun. If you can't tell, yes, we are God's girls. Yes, we are. So that's where you know, thank you, Lord, came out. But co-host, how are you doing?
I am doing well, praise the Lord.
Hallelujah. So
How are you?
here, I'm good. I'm good. It's Monday. We made it to another Monday. We're gonna have a good show. We're gonna have some fun. Once we get past the house rules, the number one house rules is respect, respect, respect. I would like to state that if disrespect is displayed in the chat or on the platform, you will be silenced or removed. So, like I said, last Monday in Black History. How are you feeling about that?
Well, our history is the history of America, but as we know, the reason why we have this month is because of Mr. Woodson, who established Negro History Week, which then was put into place by the president at that time to give us the month of February. So instead of a week, we got a month. So we did not get the shortest month because it was Black History Month. It was actually intentional by a Black man.
Yes, teach the history, teach the people, learn them something.
All right. So I'm going to give us our Black history, at least one of our Black history persons for the month. So we're going to talk about Oscar Micheaux. Born in Illinois in 1884, Oscar Micheaux worked as a homesteader, writer, and entrepreneur before venturing into filmmaking. He started as a novelist, a writer, the homesteader, which he later adapted into his first film in 1919. Unlike mainstream Hollywood, which portrayed African Americans in demeaning roles, Micheaux was determined to tell an authentic Black story. The Homesteader in 1919, considered the first feature film made by a Black director. His most famous film was Within Our Gates in 1920, a response to the birth of a nation in 1915, challenging racist narratives and showing the realities of Black life. He directed over 40 films and founded North Shore Film Corporation, becoming the most successful independent Black filmmaker in the early 20th century. Because of segregation and racism, Masho operated outside of Hollywood, distributing his films independently to Black-owned theaters, the race film circuit. His work paved the way for future Black filmmakers and inspired directors such as Spike Lee, Ava DuVernay, and John Singleton. Max Shaw was posthumously honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and is recognized as the father of Black cinema. So that was our moment in Black history.
And we got a little clip on him. But I think when you was reading us, I think we need to do a Black History book, our version, not what they want us to know. not what they want to tell our kids, like Christopher Columbus found somewhere where he
Absolutely.
was living. But anyway,
The Oscars.
Well, Oscar, one day when you got some time, look up one of the brilliant minds that ever lived. Oscar Michaud. The one night, it's the biggest television audience in the world. It's the Oscars. Where do you think that name came from? Oscar Michaud. Oscar didn't care about Hollywood or racist American laws. He broke all the rules. Every evening, Oscar would write his hardships into stories. His stories became so popular that his novel, The Homesteader, garnered the attention of a Los Angeles film company. They negotiated a deal with Oscar to adapt the book into a movie. When the film company refused to allow Oscar to be a part of the production, Oscar changed his mind. He decided to produce the film himself. With no previous experience, Oscar Michaud wrote, produced, and directed The Homesteader. The Homesteader premiered on February 2nd, 1919, to a packed 8,000 seat theater in Chicago.
now here's the crazy thing about that. Now, you know, they try to take everything from us, right? Now, I don't know how true this is, but it said controversially around the name, is this controversy around the name Oscar. Margaret Florence Herrick, the first Academy librarian and the executive director of the Academy of the Motion Picture Arts and Science. She was generally credited the name Oscar, saying that the statue reminded her of her uncle. However, others included Academy President Betty Davis and Hollywood gossip columnist Sidney Cycloff have claimed they have invented the name. So who would have thunk it? But I'm going with our version because that
I,
makes more sense.
absolutely. And it's like
Which
everything
I,
else.
yeah, I think that may, and I'm like, that don't sound right. So yeah, I'm going with our version out there of Oscar. Well, tonight, who do we have? Who are Denzel and Pauletta Washington? Now, if you don't know them, I don't know where you've been at, but I'm quite sure everybody knows them. But again, as we have been doing for this month, diving into historical, not historical, but relationships of Hollywood couples, political figures that have made it in marriage and trying to just get some tips and learn some things. Go old school and see what they did and what's in the recipe. Is it Lori's, adobo, salt and pepper, paprika? What we got going on? What we need in this pot in this generation to make these relationships work? So, in a world where relationships go viral for all the wrong cheating scandals, messy breakups, and clout chasing, what happened to love that lasts? Today, we're talking about one of the strongest marriages in Hollywood, Denzel and Pauletta Washington. With over 40 years of marriage, they built a life based on faith, commitment, and real family values. But in an era where relationships last about as long as a trending hashtag, are we losing what truly matters? Yes, a trending hashtag, which is true. Hashtag I left him. Hashtag we broke up. Everything is a hashtag. Hashtag I can't stand him. So everything's a hashtag now. But before the Oscars, before the blockbuster movies, before the Hollywood fame, Denzel and Pauletta were just two young artists with a shared passion for acting and a deep belief in love. I didn't even know she had a passion for acting.
Mhm.
So that was news to me. So some key facts. Denzel Washington, born in 1954 in Mount Vernon, New York, is the is he what do I have here? Okay, he is a two-time Academy winning, award-winning actor known for roles in Training Day. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. That's what he said. The whole gorilla ain't got nothing on. Malcolm X offenses. Excuse me, y'all. Y'all know at this point, y'all know I'm silly. Pauletta Washington, born in 1950, she is an actress and musician who met Denzel in the early 80s while filming the TV movie Wilmer. They married in 1983 after Denzel proposed three times. Pauletta initially declined, but later said yes. I'm going to stop right there right now for a quick minute. What do you think about that? Denzel said, "No, I see what I want." Pauletta was like, "I don't have time for that." But at this day and age, like I'm not chasing. What's your thoughts on that in modern times?
Again, I think social media plays a big part. Back then there was no social media, so therefore he had to pursue what was in front of him or the person that he wanted and desired, opposed to somebody else being in his DM or inbox saying, I'll be there for you. You don't need her. So
Because I believe Denzel would have been getting all the smoke in the DMs. I
he
think his
probably still gets
DMs,
smoke in the DMs.
that's what I'm saying. So can you imagine back then the DMs, the instant message, the Snapchats? That would have been a whole nother movie. That was out back then. So, key relationship values: faith. Their marriage is built on prayer and a deep spiritual foundation. Loyalty. Pauletta stayed through the ups and downs of fame. Resilience. Hollywood is full of short marriages, but theirs endured. Let's think about that. Today, people ghost after a single bad day, a single one. Denzel got rejected twice and still fought for the love of his life. That kind of persistence is rare in modern dating. And we have some people talking to us. So before we go to the commercial break, which is where we go to our chat, so let's think about this. Will you keep pursuing someone after multiple rejections, or is once enough? That is the question to the audience.
Sharon said, hello to all.
Hello, Sharon. Thank you for being here.
Sheila Ingram Ministries said, blessings, everyone.
Blessings, and you already know who's here.
And Nay, she says, hey, Bravo with Sheila Network.
Hey, Ine, y'all don't see Ine, but Ine runs the show. She keeps things moving for us with all those chats and comments, and she greets everybody. So we thank you, Ine. We appreciate you. Now, if y'all want to jump in, Sharon, anybody in the bleachers, peeking through the bushes, would you keep pursuing someone after multiple rejections, or is once enough? I think at this day and age, people are just so sensitive. People live in their feelings. And it's like, I'm not chasing. No, it's just a lot. And again, to your point, social media, right? So many options. Well, people think there are so many options out
I
there.
mean, I don't know if I feel like this question is more like, would a man keep chasing?
Well, sure, at
Because,
this day and age, women are proposing.
well, that's true. But I'm thinking, well, I'm still traditional. That will not happen. Um, I just think that men, if they know what they want, then they're persistent about what they want. I think women, we can say, okay, I like him and I want to, but if he's not reciprocating that, then it looks different.
Because then we be in our feelings too, be like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. And you have some of the, I texted him once and he texted me back. Well, maybe he has a stressful job and he was working all day, but not one time. Get the full
Well,
backstory.
yeah, but I just think that consistency of a chase, when we use the word chase, I don't think that that is designed for women. I think that is men like to hunt. I would say men like to hunt, women like to gather. So the hunt is for
Right.
them more so. And I think that, people say a lot of times, oh, women can do what men can do. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No, no, I'm not talking about in terms of women chasing. I'm in terms of the man chasing and the women respond and they don't get that response right away. And it was like, oh no, I'm done. Well, maybe he was working. Give him a chance to respond. Like he did all his chasing. Don't cut him off because he ain't text you back and out if you don't know the dynamics of his life and
Right.
how his life is ran. So,
Yeah, and I think, hey, Frank,
hey,
how are
Frank.
you? The Happy New Year. We in February, but we'll take it. Happy New Year.
Yeah, there you go, right back at you. As long as you're here. So I mean, in terms of that, it's just a straight cutoff. Yes, he's chasing, he's pursuing, showing interest, and then okay, I let I would say, guard down a little bit. Let me show a little more interest. And the first time that is not that immediate response. Oh, I'm not dealing with him. Okay, how did we get here?
Well,
He
I
showed
also think a lot
interested.
of that comes with heartbreak and disappointment or the fear of vulnerability. So I think that
Mhm.
that is a big part of it, because in this day and time, there's the selection doesn't mean quality. So the quantity versus the quality. And some people like quantity, not quality.
Mhm. That's a good point. Very good point. So let's move right along.
All right. So marriage trials and staying together in Hollywood. Hollywood is notorious for destroying marriages. Fame, money, and temptation breaks even the strongest looking couples. But somehow Denzel and Paulette have lasted for over 40 years. What's their secret? I guess Denzel said, "Look, I chased her. She gonna stay." No. So the trials and challenges, balancing balancing career and family. Denzel's career required long hours on the set, while Paulette raised their four children. Public scrutiny. As one of Hollywood's most attractive men, Denzel faced rumors of infidelity, but Paulette remained steadfast, saying, I live with this man. I see the ups and downs. I see the things that we have to overcome and where we are. Faith as their foundation. They credit their faith and prayer for keeping them together. Denzel once said, I wouldn't be where I am without my wife. So I think, just in hearing that, their foundation is strong. So putting family over social media image. Unlike many Hollywood couples, Denzel and Pauletta don't share their love online. They don't let success ruin their foundation. They put their family, faith, and respect before anything else. But in today's world, do we still prioritize those values?
I interesting, but to the point of faith and what he said. Let's listen to how he said it.
Most important person in my life. 40 years. 40 years of sacrifice. 40 years of forgiveness. She taught me about faith, spirituality, love, real love, unwavering love, in spite of myself. I would not be alive without Pauletta Washington. I wouldn't be alive.
I think in terms of that's just standing there and declaring how he feels about his wife. We rarely see that. It's always the mess that we see. But he knows in terms of all she sacrificed.
Mhm.
And I think in terms of this day and age, the modern dating world and modern marriages, if we understood the concept of sacrifice, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, when you get married, right? It's to serve the other person. It's no longer, it's a sacrifice. And I think a lot of people don't want to make that sacrifice and still have that I mentality, but trying to go into a marriage thinking I.
I think another part of that is that there's so many broken people trying to become one when you're not whole as an individual. So I think, especially, they got married, you say 40 years ago, how old they were. Think of people in our generation who may be thinking about getting married or getting married again, first time or again. There has been that hurt, the trauma that comes from relationships. And if we have not healed properly, going back to that saying, we will bleed on people who did not cut us. So we'll think everyone is out to get us, everyone. So you may miss the opportunity with the right person because you have the wrong attitude.
And like we said, or we say it all the time, to be in a relationship if you are still broken. because you're coming from a broken place and you expecting that person, the other person, male or female, to accept your brokenness or deal with your traumas, and you don't even know how to deal with them. It's a difference if you go into therapy and you know your triggers and traumas and you have the tools to manage them. But if you don't, that's something totally different.
Oh, agreed.
Okay, let's. Social media seems to come up. It just comes up. Social media has changed the way we date. We see relationship hashtag. Let me back up. Hashtag relationship goals one day and a messy breakup the next. But we have lost sight of what really makes love last. Viral relationship trends versus Denzel and Pauletta's values. Clout chasing versus privacy. Many modern couples overshare for likes, but Denzel and Pauletta kept their marriage private. Instant gratification versus long term commitment. Today's dating culture often seeks quick rewards, while Pauletta and Denzel built their love over decades, breaking up over the smallest things versus fighting for love. They've endured challenges without giving up, unlike today's next best thing. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I agree. You know how I feel about the whole social media thing. If you're dating someone, it does not need to be made public. Like if you see a picture of me and somebody and we married,
We're not going together.
we not going
We
together.
not.
We don't sort of like each other. We not maybe no. We going like if it looks any way romantic, you best to believe I just got engaged or something.
You say I was married now,
Right. So I'm carrying his last name or
right?
about to in a couple of weeks. I'm not sure what's going on, but no, I think it goes back. People want to show like somebody wants me, but the problem becomes when that doesn't last. Now we flicking through the pictures and we can see your relationship timeline because then when we got to go like, wait a minute, they must have broke up around this time because you ain't see no more pictures.
Right.
You
Or
tell us
ultimately
about
that.
our business, but you done put us in. We want to know what happened in the next chapter.
And then, like you said, then you mad at people for being nosy. No, you literally put it out there. So, especially for lifeless people, listen, them trolls will get you. They'll pull up stuff on your page you forgot was there. Like, oh, when did I do that? When did I say that?
Oh yeah.
So the trolls out. So let's look at something. I thought this is very interesting.
For $100,000 wedding?
Yes.
Yes. Why? I have high standards and I feel like I shouldn't lower them just because.
I have high standards too. I went to a justice of the peace.
Okay.
Married 32 years. The biggest weddings are the shortest marriages, I swear. You know, Kim Kardashian, that dude, 72 days. Took her longer to pick out the dress than it did to be married to her. You know what I mean? You look at, that's just a party. You have that party with, like on your 25th wedding anniversary, then you could spend that kind of money. $100,000, you're never gonna get married, honey. You know what I'm saying? That's the wrong goal. The goal is to have him like for 40 years, not to have one party.
$100,000. What does that have to do with high standards on a wedding to feed people? Probably you haven't seen in God knows when. I couldn't do it. No judgment, but that's a whole house.
Yeah,
And
less
then
money on the wedding, more on how will our life be? Like you said,
and
we
that's
were
what
gonna
she
spend
said. That's a
$20,000
party.
and go move in an apartment. Not.
And like she said, that's a party. You don't spend $100,000 on a wedding. And I said, what does high standards have to do with $100,000 wedding? I was confused. Maybe it's me. Let me know if it's me out there. I was just confused how she tied the two together.
Because she wanted to, it was her day and she wanted it to be as lavish. And I think a lot of times going back, even not social media and just what came to me is like Remember My Super Sweet 16? So people would watch this, and then kids is like, "Oh, I want a sweet 16 like so and so." And there were some parents trying to do that for their children,
Mhm.
opposed to giving them the reality is we don't have that kind of money. That is not how we live. So it is this fantasy for us to live beyond our means.
Yeah, I remember that Sweet 16. Where's your grades? Your grades don't even equate to all of that. I don't even know how we trying to pull this off right now. How did you
I
even
don't
fix your
care if
mouth
your
back?
grades did. You know, there I can promise you there's no Range Rover outside. There's no BMW outside. If you
With
go
a bow on
outside and get in the car that we
it.
just gave,
You want to go to the store? Here. You want Chick-fil-A? Here you go. You can
I'll let
drive
you
there.
borrow my car. But yeah.
Yeah. Hold on.
So Sharon said, I agree with the judge. Real talk of relationship goals.
Yeah, and like she said, the point is to have him for 40 years, not just a whole goddamn party.
Sharon says, I truly understand the bride too, but waiting it out, doing is small with close friends and family. Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to have a wedding, especially now, I'm talking in this age group, do you need a big wedding? No. What you need to do is have a nice wedding with your, friends and family. If you choose to go to the Justice of the Peace, maybe you want a destination wedding. I don't know, but make it make sense. Because I'd
Yeah, for
rather live
me,
my life out with my person than going, we arguing. That's your person, but y'all arguing because he's like, you spent how much on a dress? You spent
right. My thing is let's sit down that let's invest. What can we do with that? Not feeding people. Because I can promise you, when my day come, I'm not going back to invite people from elementary school. Sorry, not doing it. If we're not still speaking now or we don't have that relationship, I don't have to feed you there. If that's the case, I say, hey, meet me over here.
give him a pizza party.
Right. And if I say meet me at McDonald's, you know not to come because I don't even eat it. You're like, oh, she never even really liked me because she told me to come to McDonald's. She don't even eat that. So you figure it out, but not $100,000 on a wedding. That's just my thought.
Right. All right. So let's look at beyond marriage. Their greatest accomplishments is the legacy they built. They raised their 4 children, none of whom got lost in the Hollywood lifestyle. That's real family values. What can we learn from them? Patience and forgiveness. Love isn't perfect, but commitment means working through the hard times. Keeping love private, no, not performative. Not every
No.
moment needs to be shared online. Putting family over fame. Success is empty without people to share it with. A quote from Denzel: the most important thing a man can do is take care of his family. I'm going to say that
Say it
again.
again.
The most important thing a man can do is take care of his family. That's the kind of love that doesn't go viral but lasts forever. The impact of putting your family first will that legacy, like what are you, I'm big on legacy. To me, that's that thing. What are they going to say about you when you're no longer around, when the lights are no longer shining? You know what? My dad was a great provider. My husband was a great whatever. What are you going to miss?
Right. Because that's what you have left. All these viral moments is, and who are the viral moments for? Let's get to that.
Well, it's for
You're
people.
trying to impress for people that don't mean nothing to you, but you will be with your family forever.
I always think about like who's going to be around you when you're sick, when the fame, when all the hoopla is gone, and whoever's next. Who's going to be the people around you that's going to take care of you or help you or still love you when you're no longer quote unquote at the top? Those are the people that matter most.
You're gonna have to make a video and see who's who knows what's gonna be out there. Gonna have to make a video and say, who wanna come help me out? I'm not famous anymore. I don't have it anymore. My family left me because I was performing for y'all. And that's stuff people got to think about.
Yes.
Okay. So, again, that's the kind of love that doesn't go viral, which is unfortunate because that's what needs to go viral. How to create stability. What does a lasting marriage look like? What does a family man look like? There are some out there, but the negative outweighs the positive, unfortunately, in terms of relationships. So, chasing moments or building legacy. Viral relationship trends. Did I read this? Nope. Viral relationship trends versus family oriented love. Viral moments, over the top proposals, hey, for Instagram views, publicized breakups for social media engagement, couple goals, that disappear overnight. That whole hashtag couple goals, everybody goals are different. And then sometimes those goals are just lies. And then you have these young people out here believing that and feeding into that. And I'm just gonna use, I don't know anything about her, Kim Kardashian. You want to be that. But what Judge Lynn told us at 72 days.
Took a longer
Divorce.
to pick up the dress than was to stay
Right.
married.
Yeah. So family values, private love that withstands the test of time, prioritizing commitment over trends, prioritizing commitment. That means to your partner, whoever you with, your family, over trends, staying strong even when it's not picture perfect. And I think that's the tough part where people bail.
Oh,
I think that's when
definitely.
people bail.
I think it says, let's just go on when it says secrets of lasting love. What modern couples can learn from Denzel and Paulette. One, love is a choice, not a feeling. Denzel said, I made a commitment to Paulette. You do what you have to do to stay together. And I believe that love is a choice. You choose to love that person. You choose when you take those vows for better or for worse. Too many of us want to stay for better and we out for worse. Now,
And
again, if
guess
there's
what? I'm sorry, go
things
ahead.
of that nature, those things are different, whether that's verbal abuse, physical abuse, financial abuse, all of that to me is exit. But yeah, love is a choice, not a feeling.
And then even with the choice, you have to make that choice every day because you're not gonna feel the same every day about that person.
Take a
So
vacation
every
and
day
come
you
back.
make
'Cause
it.
I'm gonna be here and you're gonna be
Yep.
here. So
Right. So you got
we'll
to make
figure it
that
out.
choice every day to say, no, we're here. I can't stand you today. I'm going to need some time away from you. But the choice, I still love you. We're in it together.
Right. So number 2, faith is a foundation. The Washingtons have spoken about the power of prayer and faith in their marriage. Faith does still play a role in modern relationships. I think that is one of the things that we've gotten so far away from. Not everyone, but just having that foundation, because when he doesn't have the answer or she doesn't have the answer, they need to be able to look to God, like look to the hills which cometh their help, knowing their help comes from the Lord, or whatever your higher power is that you believe, to say that there's something greater than us. And I think that
Yeah.
part is very, is detrimental, is needed in any relationship, because if you think you're the end all or be all, or she thinks she's the end all be all, you're gonna always run into a problem.
Yep. Hold on. Kathy has a comment.
Kathy said, absolutely, love is a choice. Right. That's like, choose me. Don't be like eeny, meeny, mighty, mo. But no, I want you to be specific to say, Elaine, I choose you.
Yeah.
And
And
hopefully,
vice versa.
right.
And then your person to have a degree in what is it? Elaineology?
Elaineology. If you don't have a degree in Elaineology and I don't have a degree in whoeverology it is, then no, we don't.
We don't mix.
You may have studied me and I have no clue who you are, or vice versa.
Right.
So we just want to make sure that those degrees line up and we studying the same thing. All right, moving on. Number 3, social media doesn't define love. Paulette said, real love isn't about what people see. It's about what happens behind closed doors, right? Like when you're sick, who's going to take care of you? Who's going to be there? When you're having a bad day, you're having a mental moment, right? We all have them. Who's going to talk you off the ledge and have those conversations to tell you you're still great? We still believe in you. Who's going to help you dream bigger than where you feel you hit the ceiling? That other person is there to help push you and propel you to the next level. So when we look at what love is work. It's commitment,
It's action,
it's choices, it's being there. But it said love is patient, love is kind. And sometimes that patience is like, you like, Lord, he getting on my last good nerve. But I love him. And I go back to something we talked about last week and saying we have a commitment to our children. Doesn't matter what they do, doesn't matter. Most people have a commitment to their children. Now, can you look at a person that you did not birth and say, I love you like I love myself, or more, that I'm willing to sacrifice for you? And I think that's where it comes from. We're too busy thinking this person wants to use me. And that may be true. There are people, but when you find your person, you don't get to treat them like everyone because that's your choice. That person should be your choice.
Absolutely.
And I don't care who comes through, who walks by. I know my choice. And my choice is better than any chance, because you got two things: choices and chances. You taking a chance if you walk away from the choice.
Yeah, say that again for the people.
You taking a chance, might be a t-shirt. You're taking a chance if you walk away from the choice. I mean, if you walk away from you, right? Because if your choice, I don't care how handsome, how beautiful, how whatever. When something just clicks and you like something about that person is different.
That's it. Yeah, that's good. So Denzel got some tips for us, and he got some tips for us, and not just necessarily relationships, but overall.
Put it down, turn it off, shut up, be quiet, learn, read, relax, get better. First part of your life you learn, second part of your life you earn, third part of your life you return.
All right.
He said, shut up.
Okay.
And in the first part, get off the social media.
And I would say this, even, from a woman, I think that's something that, not that men, but I'm going to speak for women. Sometimes we just need to know when to be quiet. Just stop. I know there's some pushback and people might be like, I'm going to speak. Nope. Everything don't need to be said. My mother used to say this to my father. Everything that comes to your mind shouldn't come out your mouth.
Right. And one thing I tell people, I say, and you hear me say it often, just because you have a mouth, that does not mean you need to be speaking. It's okay to, but then again, it goes back to self-awareness, right? You got to know, and we're talking about in terms of women, we're talking about it. You got to know when to just like put the muzzle on it. I told you at the very beginning, I put myself on timeout. Like, girl, you just out there, go sit down.
And sometimes it's hard. And I think that's why God designed it, that we have, before you get to the tongue, we got teeth and lips. He's like, I'm trying to give you a gate so that you can stop. And you be like, you have so much in between to help you stop. And I'm guilty. I have been guilty where I be like, all right. But we talked about emotional intelligence. I'm usually the one that will be like, all right. I got you.
Yeah.
You got one more time. But you, to thine own self be true. When you understand who you are, and then hopefully your partner understands who you are and knows, like, I really don't want to have this conversation because we use our words as a weapon to back people away from us, especially if you grew up in certain environments. You had to know how to speak. You either fighting or speaking or both. So you have to be able to use your mouth as a weapon.
Especially if you've been the only one that protects you. So it's really like at a whole nother level if you've never had a man to protect you. You never had a father figure to protect you. So it's New Jack City. I'm all I got. I'm all I got, man. So I gotta I'm all I got. I gotta stand up for myself. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike. But I think that part is just very key. And you have to be able to be vulnerable with that person and say, you know what, this is the reason why I go off in this way. And that person has to be able to take what you said and not use it as, don't weaponize it, but help you through that.
I told true story. Remember, I told you the story. Y'all know I don't care. I'll tell my business. I'm transparent. I told you the story about one time I was saying something, and my friend literally just put his whole hand over my mouth, and I still was going. He said, "You just can't." And I didn't even realize that I was still going on.
Because you had to get your point across.
I had to get it out. And he was like, "You just can't stop." And I was like, just still going on and on and on. But when it happened, I was like, "Oh yeah, you really like just yeah."
Hey, Lee, what doesn't work is when someone has no filter but wants you to have one. Things like that make you go, But then I think that may be true, but then you also have to say, are you my person? Because your person will understand you. They'll know how to talk to you. They know how to say things to you to help bring you down. And I don't mean down in a negative way, to calm you down in a way that makes sense to you. And sometimes, to an earlier point that we were talking about, we keep trying to make someone our person that's not our person. Because your person knows how to talk to you. Mm-hmm. Your person understands your temperament and says, I'm not going, like, okay, I remember someone telling me, you don't went too far and stayed too long. That's all I needed to hear. And it was funny, and I started laughing. So where if I wanted to go off, it was like, went too far and stayed too long. That made me go, okay, Elaine, maybe you are over.
Let me pull it back.
Let me pull it back. But it wasn't mean. It wasn't, but it was, but it had, the person said it like, that's the problem with you. I would have went, what? We had 10 now. Very calmly, you done went too far and stayed too long. So I did like, okay, wait, what did I say? It made me step back and think and then reassess. Did I? So it's having the person to know how to talk to you.
Yeah, and that's in any relationship.
Right. Yeah, but I'm saying, right, your person is going to know, and to your point, friendships, because we've had some friendships where you could say the person is more like trying to bully you or tell you what to do or whatever. When someone can say, all right, and all of a sudden you're like, all right, let me check myself.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. So absolutely. But
or
yeah,
maybe
and it wasn't. Yeah, because that does happen. Depending on where you're at that day, you could have had a stressful day. And it's like that next person that says something to you, they're going to get it, but not intentionally. Like on your mind, like the next person to say something to me, it just comes out that way. And then you have to be woman enough or man enough to go back and apologize. I'm sorry, I snapped at you. I just had a rough day. This was on my mind. And yeah. So
and usually, I'm sorry, and usually it's very easy to snap on the people that's closest to you because you feel like they're not going to go
anywhere. Which is bad.
But that's where emotional intelligence comes in. And to your point, being self-aware. Because if I'm self-aware, that's why people sit in their car about 5-10 minutes before they come into the house. Because if you're like, let me get my mind together, because the people in the house didn't do it to me. It was maybe the people at work, or maybe I had road rage, maybe whatever it is. Before I walk into these people who love me, because the people that you turn the key into should love you, and you love them.
Absolutely.
So they should get the best version of you. Or in a husband-wife situation, that person should be able to recognize and say, what's the matter? Even if you didn't say anything. And knowing timing. Timing is everything. Because you could say the right words at the wrong time and it can turn into something else.
Absolutely. And to your point, any ship, we know when stuff is wrong with us. I can sit there and be like, nothing. You be like, Coke, what's wrong? And it could be I don't feel like talking about it right now. I'm just drained. I'm frustrated. Or you'll call me, I just need to vent. All right, friend, let it go. Let it rip. And it's not to make a comment. It's to, hey, let your friend get it out. Support them where they at. Sometimes it's not always a response. Because it was funny. It was probably 2 weeks ago, and you was telling me something. And I said something. You was like, I just need you to listen right now. And because I started giving advice, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to shut up. And I wasn't offended by it.
But I already know the answer. I just need to hear it out loud. I need to say it. And that's true.
Yeah. And I think in knowing each other and any kind of shit, your automatic response when you love somebody, you want to try to fix it. Or try to make the blow easier for your friend, whatever that shit looks like. But to the point is, I don't need you to talk right now. I just called you to get it out. Oh, okay, I'm shut up.
And that usually happens in relationships with men and women. Men usually want to be the problem solver. And, we just want to tell you the story and say, whatever. And he'll be like, I don't understand. But I didn't want you to answer it. I just wanted to tell you.
Right.
And most men are probably thinking, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And when you learn, you're like, okay, she just wants me to listen. And I think I think one of the most, and I'm going to use the word attractive things, is when your partner or significant other can come back and tell you what you were taught, like you were really listening. Because half of us don't think men be listening. We're like, he just be like, yeah, and you thinking he think about the football game or something. He not listening to me. And then he can come back and be like, what happened with so-and-so? And then you like, oh, you was actually listening to my story.
Yeah.
So Sharon said, absolutely, Dr. Elaine and Coach Pache, preach. We trying,
Yeah,
Sharon.
we gotta know when to put that zipper on.
Lee said, ultimately, it's giving grace, understanding, and being mature enough to know when to apologize and forgive your partner as well. Gems I learned from Mama and Papa Shaw, 57 years. Right. And I mean, when you have, especially if you've grown up around your parents being married or seeing marriages, you've seen the compromise that goes between two people to know, like, they're not going to always get along, but they make it work. Lee says basic rules to sail the ship, not to sink the ship. Right. I mean, some ships need to be sunk. They need Titanic. But you got to understand, because those are toxic relationships. I said some relationships. Let's think about it. Some ships that you can think back in your life and you go, I'm glad that ship sunk, because
I should have never been on the ship.
Right. You should have never been on that ship in the beginning. And that could be friendships, that could be relationships, all kind of whatever ship it is. Some ships needed to sink.
Yeah, absolutely. So that has been, is anybody else in here? That has actually been our segment. And like I said, we're coming to the close of Black History Month. I know a couple of you were not on. So what we're going to do, give a little history about Black history, who we highlighted today. And yeah, just watch this.
Oscars.
Well, Oscar, one day when you got some time, look up one of the brilliant minds that ever lived. Oscar Michelle. The one night, it's the biggest television audience in the world. It's the Oscars. Where do you think that name came from?
Oscar Michelle. Oscar didn't care about Hollywood or racist American laws. He broke all the rules. Every evening, Oscar would write his hardships into stories. His stories became so popular that his novel, The Homesteader, garnered the attention of a Los Angeles film company. They negotiated a deal with Oscar to adapt the book into a movie. When the film company refused to allow Oscar to be a part of the production, Oscar changed his mind. He decided to produce the film himself. With no previous experience, Oscar Michaud wrote, produced, and directed The Homesteader. The Homesteader premiered on February 2nd, 1919 to a packed 8,000-seat theater in Chicago.
And that has been our Black History moment on here on Mondays Beyond the Mic. But we thank you for being here. We thank you for tuning in. You could have been anywhere else but here on your Monday evening. So we thank you. And until next week, we will see you then.
Good night.
All I do is try to construe this life.